Morning guys, and welcome back to Cyclopedia. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my hood, which is Tampines and Bedok. Starting off with a bit of breakfast. I'm kind of disappointed because I wanted to try the putu mayam for breakfast, and the place is not open, so I'm a bit miffed. And I'm a bit pissed with Google as well, because Google said it would be open. So instead, I've gone for some carrot cake, which is another of my favourites. I'm trying to keep it light this morning because I'm going for a huge lunch later. I'm going to take you to one of my favourite places for lunch in the Bedok area. So we're going to explore Tampines and Bedok, but first I'm going to have a little breakfast. This one's, the taste is really nice. It's a little bit of chili in there. It's very fresh, very hot. I really like this. And the flavour is great. My only criticism would be that the carrot cake is a little bit too soft for my taste. I like it with a bit more chewiness, but it's really good. I've eaten a lot of carrot cake this week because my neighbour, a lovely lady, actually made me some hay-bay carrot cake last weekend, and that was superb. So thank you very much. If I didn't say thank you to you already. That was a good way to start the day, so let's go and explore Tampines and Bedok. Okay guys, as you may know from watching my past videos, I often have problems pronouncing Malay words. And when I first moved to Singapore, I made the schoolboy error of pronouncing this district as Tampines, which, given the spelling, is an understandable mistake to make. But did you know the original spelling was actually Tempinis, but it was changed for obvious reasons. Now the reason Tempinis is known as it is because of this tree behind me, the Tempinis tree in Malay, or Strelbus elongatus in Latin. And years ago, during the colonial era, this area was full of these trees, but over the years they were all harvested because of the trees' really good quality hard wood, which was used to make boat oars, furniture and wooden flooring. And because all the trees were harvested, when this district was developed in the 80s and the local authorities wanted to remind people of the heritage of the area, they actually had to get the seedlings for the Tempinis trees from Malaysia and Indonesia. Now, I'm still not 100% sure that this is a Tempinis tree, but I've narrowed it down through web searches and 2 trips here, so I'm hoping that I'm correct. If I'm not, please let me know in the comments. Okay, we're here at the second stop for today, which is Tampines Eco Green. Now, believe it or not, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know I've pretty much been to every corner there is in Singapore during my travels, but I've never been here before, even though it's like 10 minutes away from where I live. I've been planning to come here many times in the past, but for some reason or another I never quite made it. But today I'm going in. Let's go. But before I go in, I'm going to apply some mozzie repellent. Now, after seeing that I like to use essential oils as mosquito repellent, local manufacturer Chopwa On contacted me and asked me if I'd like to try out some of their products. The first one is citronella oil that can be used as a mosquito and insect repellent. The second one he gave me was if you forget to put it on and do get bitten, then you can use this eucalyptus balm to relieve the itchiness from bites and stings. And the third one, if you overdo it while you're out hiking and you've got some aches and pains, then you can use this holo oil to rub on your aching bones. Good for old people like me. So, if you're interested, go and check out the Chopwa On website and you can order some products, and you can also read up on the extremely interesting history of the essential oil industry in Singapore. Mr. Tong, the owner, is a really nice fella, and he even drove over to my house with his wife to drop off the products. So go and check it out. Go and buy some essential oils and support your local business. I smell beautiful now, for a change. It's not just mosquitoes I'm worried about. There's bigger things around here sometimes too. As when I was reading up on the history of Tempinis and the surrounding area, believe it or not, once this area was the scene of a panther hunt. Yes, a panther. That's because back in 1975 a panther escaped from the Singapore pet farm in Elias Road. Now this panther was on the loose for 25 days before it was caught, and I think it killed quite a few local farm animals and things during that time. And eventually it was caught, can you believe it, in Tanjong Rhu, which is quite far from here. So for 25 days there was a wild panther roaming around Tampines, Pasir Ris and Bedok, and then somehow it ended up in Tanjong Rhu before it was caught. Pretty cool story, but pretty scary at the same time. It's quite nice here actually. I mean, it's not particularly big and there's not particularly anything special to see here, just a few wading birds and stuff, but it's quite nice. Nice way to get away from the concrete for a while, although you can still hear the MRT and construction noises in the background. But yeah, it's not bad. An early morning walk or early evening walk, quite nice. Well, that was a nice little detour, about half an hour, just having a nose around. Now this place even has eco toilets. Now I've got to be honest, I'm all for the environment, love the earth and all that, but my previous experience with eco toilets in Taiwan and New Zealand, they're not that pleasant to be honest, too many flies, but let's go in and check it out. It's quite a few flies, but in Taiwan and New Zealand they're all big flies, whereas here they're all like really small, kind of like sand flies. I can't believe I'm actually filming while I'm peeing. First time I've ever done that. I hope you appreciate the lengths I go to for you guys. I'm not going to pan down, don't worry. Well, that was kind of interesting. Not really as smelly as I thought it was going to be, but anyway, that's another experience chalked off. Alright, let's head on to the next venue. Now, I've only been in Singapore for 6 years, but as we say in England, I can remember when that were all fields. Okay guys, I'm here alongside Old Tempinis Road. I'm not recording on the road because it's too damn noisy. There's construction work going on over there. Old Tempinis Road is pretty interesting as it was built in 1847 as a bridle path for people on horseback, and up until the mid 70s it was still the only road that travelled through the Tampines area, although it had been upgraded and wasn't a horseback path at that time. But still, here the area I'm in now is close to Hunyang Road, which was the name of one of the kampongs that were dotted alongside the old road. Now behind me over there, there's a row of shop houses still there that I believe were part of the kampong up until it was demolished in the mid-80s. So after I've finished here, I'm going to cut through just over there by the temple to Tampines Quarry, and I'm going to have to be careful because there's sometimes packs of wild dogs there that like to chase and bite people on bicycles. So wish me luck. Interesting. I thought this was a wild boar trap when I saw it, but actually it's a wild dog trap. It says they're going to trap, neuter and release as a way to deal with the wild dog population. Well, if it makes them less aggressive to cyclists, I'm all for it. I'm here at Tampines Quarry, not because I'm going to walk around it, because I don't even know if I'm supposed to do that or not, it's a bit of a grey area, but because I'm going to talk about sand. Yeah, sand. Starting in the 1960s, Tampines experienced a huge boom in sand quarrying, which was mostly fueled by the post-independence era construction boom, you know, HDBs to deal with the lack of housing. So much so that if you look at aerial photos from the 70s and 80s, Tampines area just looks like a mess, man. Just like a bunch of deep holes in the ground full of water and sand, and not very nice at all. Now that went on for a few years, but rampant overproduction led to a crackdown starting in the 80s, and many of the quarries were phased out. The remnants of all that quarrying are what you see behind me, Tampines Quarry, which was closed in the 1980s. The water is said to be around 30 meters deep, but I'm not going to dive down to test it out. Tempinis Polytechnic, which is just over there, was also partially built on the site of a former sand quarry. And also there's a huge HDB sand quarry just over there, which you can see very easily if you ever come through the Tempinis area. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go and get some lunch. Okay guys, we're here at one of my favourite places to get food in the whole of Singapore, and it's convenient because it's just down the road from my house, you see. Can I get half rice?
One here, we'll take away.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are in the
Okay.
right?
Sorry?
You are in the
Yeah. Thank you. Alright guys, let's take a look at what we've got. We've got the standard ikan bilis and peanuts. We've got the quail's eggs. We've got some chicken liver. One of my favourite vegetables of all time, a bit of eggplant. And another thing that I've really come to love since I came to Singapore is tempeh. It's healthy and it's tasty, and can't get enough of it. I got half rice as well because if I get full rice I feel so full afterwards I can't do anything in the afternoon. So let's have one more look at it. Look at that. A beautiful spicy bowl, spicy plate of goodness. I usually come here exactly 11 o'clock because if you come here at 12, the line is like 30 or 40 people. But even today I got here at 11 and there's about 12 people in front of me. It's crazy busy. And it's so popular. Everything's got, it's really, it's not too spicy, a little spicy, very rich tasting sauce. I just absolutely love this stuff. Let's try a bit of liver. So fresh, cooked to perfection. I'd eat here every day if I could, but I think I'd be probably twice as size as I am now. And all this huge plate of food, only $5.50. I'm not sure how they make the eggplant so sweet, but it's absolutely delicious. The thing I love about it is the variety of textures when you eat this. You've got the crunchiness of the peanuts and the ikan bilis, and then you've got the meatiness of the liver, the mushy eggplant, and then you've got the firm rice, and then you've got a bit of bite in the tempeh. So you've got a bit of everything. And everything is so fresh, and the flavours that come through are difficult to describe because there's so many different flavours, but you've got to come down and try it. You won't be disappointed. As always, that was amazing. I've had a lot of Nasi Padang in other places, but as Sinead O'Connor would say, nothing compares to you. Cheers. Now you may have noticed that I'm currently in the beautiful Bedok Reservoir, but it's a bit hot at the moment, and as my house is just down the road, I'm going to go home first and chill for a bit and then come out later this afternoon when it's a bit cooler. So, cheerio. Alright, so I'm showered, rested and changed, and I'm back here at Bedok Reservoir in one of my favourite spots at the top of the hill which overlooks the reservoir. And normally I do laps around the reservoir every day or every couple of days and exercise every morning, and I love walking up this hill here because if you're early enough you can catch beautiful sunset, and it's usually the sunrise is about there, and it's such a nice place to come. And yeah, I don't worry about the reputation of Bedok Reservoir. I know all about the reputation, but I mean, I've lived here 6 years, and as far as I can remember, I don't recall any stories of things being found in the lake. I'm not going to say what, but you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, it's still looking over the lake or the reservoir. It's hard to believe that 50 or so years ago that this was actually hilly farm and plantation land, Ulu Bedok as it was called back then. Certainly changed a lot, and that is down to the quarrying boom that I talked about earlier today. Yeah, I mean the reservoir was dug out as part of the sand quarrying craze, but now obviously it's been put to another use, and it's a really great place to come. I mean, it's also actually a pretty good place to spot wildlife, believe it or not, because over the years I've been here, I've seen hornbills, macaques, and also a python. Although I didn't see it, my wife saw a python here a few months ago, I think it was now, 2 or 3 months ago. And also the otters quite often appear in Bedok Reservoir. So yeah, I mean, it's not just a place to exercise, it's actually a place where you can encounter some wildlife. So if you've never been over this way, you should come and check it out. It's quite nice, but I'd say come around this time, 5:30 p.m, 6 p.m. It's much nicer than coming during the daytime when it's super hot. Now, some of you locals may also know that there's a couple of restaurants situated around the reservoir. There's, I think probably the most famous one is Wah Wah Wah, which is actually just like a stone's throw from my house. And that place is okay, but the place I'm going to take you to now is probably a bit less well known, but it's pretty good. So let's go and check it out. Now, whenever I come here, I like to sit outside, but I'm kind of in the minority. I'm here now and I'm the only person sitting outside. Everybody else is tucked away inside in the aircon. I know it's hot, but I just like sitting outside here because you've got the view of the reservoir and there's a bit of a breeze and the atmosphere is quite nice. It's also nice to come here with your family because the kids can run around and the parents can sit and drink, and but my family didn't want to come with me today. They're all busy, so it's just me. Been looking forward to this all day. Now, I've been to this place many times before, as you may have guessed already, and my only bugbear about this place is that they don't serve fries with their burgers. They serve crisps, as we call them in England, or chips in American. So today, because I fancied something fried and crispy, I ordered some mushroom poppers, and they're absolutely huge. I don't think I'm going to be able to eat them all. The batter is beautiful. The bun is toasted, it's quite nice. And the beef tastes nice and fresh. Cooked medium, how I like it. Okay guys, so finished dinner. It was pretty yummy, but we're not done for the night. So, oh no, I'm gonna take you to one last place now that I love for some dessert. Alright, so I fully intended to take you to the Fengshan Center behind me for some dessert, one of my favorite desserts, the black sesame tangyuan, but in rather disappointing news, the whole place is closed for cleaning, so no dessert today. But that's probably a good thing considering how much food I've already eaten today. I'll probably explode. So I'm going to wrap it up here today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed my whistle stop tour of Tampines and Bedok. If you have, you know what to do. Hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And once again, thanks to all the people who have bought me a coffee. The offer still stands for a while. I think I've got about 15 patches left, so if you buy me 3 or 5 coffees, I'll whiz a patch over to you. And just to say thanks for your support. which of course this thing wouldn't be possible without. Alright guys, that's it for today. I'm off home now, so take it easy and I'll see you next time. Over and out.